Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to be blown away, because 2025 is a year Burkina Faso is making history in the most epic way possible. This isn't just change, it's a revolution in the making. The world is watching, and Burkina Faso is stepping up like never before, showing the true power of determination, courage, and transformation. If you're pumped up and ready to dive into this incredible journey, then smash that like button. Subscribe for more, drop a comment with your thoughts, and share this with everyone you know, because this is history in real time, and you don't want to miss a second of it. As 2025 progressed, one thing became clear. Ibrahim Traoré was not just speaking change, he was living it. For him, it is no word, but action was more than a slogan. It was a way of ruling. While others held press conferences, he was in the field with his soldiers. While critics wrote articles, he was rewriting laws. He didn't wait for permission or applause. He moved with purpose, even if it meant breaking tradition or making enemies. In every village where terrorists had once ruled, his presence was felt. In new schools, clean water points, and rising flags. In the courtroom, black colonial robes were gone, replaced by local fabrics, sewn with pride. In the capital, the people watched as the government reshaped itself, sometimes painfully, always boldly. For Traoré, Burkina Faso's future wouldn't be built on promises. It would be built on action. Real, visible, irreversible action. Burkina Faso's future wouldn't be built on promises, because promises had already failed it. For decades, the people were told to wait. Wait for peace. Wait for aid. Wait for democracy to fix itself. Wait for terrorists to be defeated by someone else's army. Wait while their children went hungry and their land was stolen in silence. Leaders came with speeches, not solutions. Foreigners came with deals, not dignity. Every 5 years brought a new face with the same broken script. But Captain Ibrahim Traoré tore that script in half. He stood in front of the nation and said, "What others wouldn't. No one is coming to save us. We are the ones we've been waiting for." So instead of promises, he brought plans. Instead of waiting, he moved. He built security with the people, not above them. He pushed back against colonial influence, even when it came dressed in diplomacy. He redirected the economy towards self-reliance, farming, mining, education rooted in Burkinabe pride. In schools, kids stopped memorizing someone else's history and started learning their own. In the courts, judges no longer wore foreign robes, but the traditional Faso danfani, woven from the thread of national identity. Traoré's Burkina Faso wasn't waiting for a promise. It was building a future, one shovel, one soldier, one voice at a time. Because promises fade, but action stays. If we don't build it ourselves, it will never be ours. That was more than a statement. It was a call to arms. A truth that echoed from the dusty roads of Dori to the crowded markets of Ouagadougou. For too long, Burkina Faso had accepted what was given. Loans wrapped in conditions. Military support tied to politics. Schools that didn't teach pride. Courts that wore foreign robes and spoke foreign justice. But under Ibrahim Traoré, that mindset began to shift. He reminded the people that true freedom is not gifted, it is earned. That borrowed power can always be taken back. And that a house built by others is never truly your home. So, the people began to build, not just roads and buildings, but identity. They built defense brigades from villages. They built independence in classrooms. They built pride in tradition and purpose in progress. No one waited for instructions. No one begged for permission. Because Traoré's message was clear. If we don't build it ourselves, it will never be ours. And now, in 2025, a new Burkina Faso is rising, not perfect, not finished, but finally its own. Rooted in the soil of the Burkinabe spirit. Not just a poetic line, but truth that runs through every heartbeat of the nation. Because the Burkinabe spirit is not found in textbooks or treaties. It lives in the red earth that stains the feet of farmers before sunrise. In the drums that speak when words are not enough. In the mothers who rebuild after loss. And the youth who dream beyond borders. It is a spirit carved by resistance, against colonization, against poverty, against fear. It's in the legacy of Thomas Sankara, and now, in the grit of Captain Traoré. To be rooted in that soil means more than just standing tall. It means growing from something deeper. It means building systems that reflect local wisdom. It means leadership that listens, not just commands. It means wearing the Faso Dan Fani not as decoration, but as declaration. Burkina Faso's future is not imported. It is planted, watered, and grown from within, rooted in its own stories, rooted in its own struggle, rooted in the unshakable, unbreakable Burkinabe spirit. And because of that, it cannot be erased. Burkina Faso deserved more than dependency, more than waiting for foreign aid that came with strings, more than being a pawn in someone else's chessboard, more than being told what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. For decades, the world looked at Burkina Faso as a nation that needed saving. But what it truly needed was the freedom to save itself. Because dignity cannot be donated. Freedom cannot be outsourced. And no nation can rise when it's told to stay on its knees. Under Ibrahim Traoré, the message shifted. We are not dependent, we are determined. Determined to defend our land, to teach our history, to own our resources, to lead ourselves. Burkina Faso deserved more than dependency. It deserved sovereignty, self-respect, and the power to dream without permission. And now, in 2025, that dream is no longer whispered. It's spoken boldly, lived proudly, and built with bare hands. Because Burkina Faso will no longer be defined by what was given, but by what it chooses to create. Traoré wasn't asking for patience. He was demanding progress. He didn't step into power to wait, not to negotiate with failure, not to stall behind bureaucracy while his people bled and his country burned. Where others asked for time, he moved with urgency, because every day of delay cost lives. Every excuse meant another village lost, another child buried, another promise broken. He wasn't there to comfort the comfortable. He was there to wake a nation, to tear down the systems that served outsiders, to rebuild institutions that served the people, to cut through noise with action and through doubt with direction. Progress wasn't a plan for tomorrow. It was a demand for today. So when critics called for calm, he answered with change. When foreign powers warned him to slow down, he stepped forward even faster. Because Traoré believed one simple truth. Revolution doesn't wait, and neither will we. Real, visible, irreversible action. That was the kind of change Ibrahim Traoré stood for. Not promises, not paperwork, but transformation you could touch, see, and never undo. Real, because the people were tired of illusions. They didn't want beautifully written policies that stayed on paper. They wanted water in their villages, roads to their farms, and safety in their homes. They wanted leaders who lived like them, fought beside them, and understood their pain. Visible, because change shouldn't be hidden behind closed doors. It should be seen in the way justice is delivered. In the classrooms filled with local language and culture. In the military uniforms standing not for control, but for protection. In the cotton robes worn by judges, stitched in the threads of national pride. Not foreign tradition. Irreversible. Because Traoré knew that real freedom must be permanent. Not something that crumbles with the next election. Not a mood that shifts with the wind of international pressure. But a foundation built so deep into Burkinabe identity that no one, foreign or domestic, can tear it down. This kind of action is not soft. It's not safe. It shakes old power. It challenges the status quo. But it's the only kind of action that matters. Because in a country that has been delayed, denied, and dismissed for too long, only real, visible, irreversible action can open the door to true liberation.